I'm coming from Kerala, to be specific, in Kochi, and I'm working here in Kochi in Bharat Petroleum Kochi Refinery as a mechanical engineer. So I started my GMAT preparations, and by 2022 second half, my plan was to join MBA program in 2023 intake. But my work schedule actually affected most part of my preparations because it was mentally as well as physically demanding at times. This meaning-based approach was absolutely a game changer. I enrolled e-GMAT in 2022 April, and the first course, that Master Comprehension, before we start verbal, we will go through the Master Comprehension. And from the very first video itself, I started feeling that change because the entire approach is different and it is very easy to follow also. For my surprise, I faced some of the questions in Quant which was very similar as a Scholaranium questions I solved during my last days of prep. So this was very helpful. LMP played a major role in massive improvement in my quant score. Just 1 week before the exam, there was a free mock test available in SigmaX. So I took that mock test, and I believe I scored as 630 or 640. That was a shock, absolutely a shocker for me, because I was getting a score of 700. Why 640? This is not a correct picture. This is a false score. I believed, and I went for the exam, and I scored even lesser than that, 620.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another debrief session with me. My name is Dhruv, and I'm one of the strategy experts at e-GMAT. And with me today, I have a successful student, a student who was absolutely diligent, who went through a lot of turmoils, who struggled initially to maintain that work-prep balance. But when he came out with flying colors and scored a GMAT 700 on the Classic Edition with the breakup of V34 and a massive Q50. Aravind came a long way. His starting ability with us was a 620 with a V28 and a Q-48. You see he improved by 6 points on verbal and by 2 massive points on quant. And in this video, we'll decode his journey. How did he manage what he did and the work prep balance that he tried to achieve in this little debrief session. So Aravind, welcome to this debrief session, and thank you so much for doing this. How does it feel?
Thank you, Dhruv, for the introduction. I feel very happy. It's been a long journey with GMAT as well as with e-GMAT also. And finally seeing a score of 700, I'm very happy.
Right. Aravind, I was a part of your journey for most of the time because you were a part of the last mile push, and there were a lot of hiccups in between where you were on and off the prep, and a lot of things have happened in your journey. That's exactly what we'll discuss. But when I look at your journey, when I look at you as a person, I would not hesitate saying that you are one of the most diligent students that I came across. I would sympathize with you, sometimes looking at your work schedule and what you had to go through and what all compromises you had to make. But, I always knew that if somebody deserves to, get to a 700, it was you, because you're a great human also, right? And that I could feel when I would interact with you. So keep it up, right? And let's now get into your journey. So Aravind, before we start with the details of your journey, can you just help me understand a bit about your background, whatever is relevant, so that the viewers know where you come from?
I'm coming from Kerala, to be specific, in Kochi, and I'm working here in Kochi in Bharat Petroleum Kochi Refinery as a mechanical engineer. So I started my GMAT preparations, and by 2022 second half, my plan was to join MBA program in 2023 intake. But my work schedule actually affected most part of my preparations because it was mentally as well as physically demanding at times, as you know. So basically, to balance the preparation and work, it was a very difficult task for me. That's about my background. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Arvind, for that. Yes, I am absolutely aware about the challenges that your work brings to you. New projects all of a sudden, and they're very hectic. So, Arvind, when you scored a 620, so you scored a 620, you came to us. You had a V28 and a Q-48. Out of the two, which was the most challenging section for you at that moment? Something that you really wanted to improve on?
It was verbal. I can I can be very confident in that because verbal challenged me a lot in
Right,
be it SC, CR as well as RC. Basically I'm coming from um, basically we are speaking Malayalam here, so I'm coming from a Malayalam medium school, not
right,
very fluent in English from my school days. Only after my college days only I started interacting in English. So basically I'm not a fast reader, so my
right.
reading speed also lacks a bit. So this was the main challenge for me. So I was from the starting of my preparation itself, I was focusing on verbal. Given my engineering background, quant was relatively easier for me. I will not
Yeah,
say that it was easy. It was very easy, but relatively compared to verbal, it was fine.
right.
So verbal, in all aspects, it challenged me. SC also, I thought initially SC is basically grammar. So I went by rules. I learned a lot of rules from here and there. And CR, I thought I just went behind the. I did not understand deep into what is the conclusion. What are the things we should take care before
Right,
arriving at a conclusion. I did
right.
not dwell much deep into it. And when it came to RC, it was the most difficult part because the reading speed, because of my reading
Yeah,
speed, I struggled a lot. I used to take up to 5.5 minutes to read a passage. That too, sometimes it is just a skim. I was
yeah.
unable to get the meaning. I struggled a lot, and I gave my attempts before joining e-GMAT. Actually, I gave two attempts
Mhm.
instead of giving mocks because of my work pressure and all the schedules. I thought instead of giving mocks, it's better to take the exam to see the exam environment. It will be better.
Yeah,
So I gave first attempt on January 2023. I scored a 610. Then I gave subsequent attempt in March 2022, keeping in mind that I have to join maybe 2023 intake, and
yeah.
I got 620 only. After that, I joined EMAT and things changed after that.
Right. Very nicely put, Arvind. You gave us a good brief detail about where you stood when you started from a 620, what were the challenges, right? And I would like to highlight this for all the viewers here, because a few of them, of course, would be out of India, who would not really know more about the medium of language that you studied when you studied from when you were a child. So when you come from a vernacular medium, there's very less focus which is put on the English language, right? Because your main primary medium of communication in your school at a very basic level is that particular regional language. And for students like Arvind, it becomes extremely difficult as they grow up to then cope up with the students who have already studied English since they were kids, right? And they learned it. So kudos to people like Arvind who are listening to me, and of course to Arvind as well. I'm sure he's going to inspire many of you here. So, Arvind, let's get into verbal bit by bit. Okay, starting with SC. You mentioned that you were always
Okay.
focusing on the grammar part of things, right? I'm sure when you joined
Yeah.
us, you would have realized what is the meaning-based approach, right? Because I was always
Yeah.
thinking about grammar. So, how did the meaning-based approach help you become better with SC?
Uh, this meaning based approach was absolutely a game changer. Uh, I enrolled e-GMAT in 2022 April, and the first course, that master comprehension. Before we start verbal, we will go through the master comprehension, and from the
Right.
very first video itself, I started feeling that change because the entire approach is different and it is very easy to follow also. Basically,
Mm.
SC is not about grammar, even if a bit of nuances are there. English
Yes.
grammar is an aspect, but it is more about the meaning. You should understand the given sentence first. What the sentence means, where it is lacking. So this meaning-based approach actually changed my viewpoint. I started going behind the meaning, as I said. and it was very easy. From after that, I was able to sense the change. Uh, Actually, and the course also, the SC course is structured in such a way that it is, by the end of the course, you will be a master in understanding the meaning. So that is one of the wonderful aspect of e-GMAT SC course I have experienced. So this meaning based approach was very helpful. From that point itself, I started seeing an improvement in my SC score. I believe um, I improved a lot in SC. Earlier, I think in my 620, my percentile score was around 30-35, and now it came to around 80. So there is a massive improvement thanks to the meaning based approach by e-GMAT.
Right. Right. So I think you got that structured approach and the direction that you were looking for with verbal. And do you also think, like many students say this, but do you also agree that the meaning-based approach helps you not only with SC but also with CR and RC?
Definitely, 100% I'll agree. uh, so basically, in meaning based approach, what you do is you are dissecting the sentence, you are understanding every bit of the sentence. So basically it helps everywhere, whether it be CR or RC. Especially in RC also, I got the advantage from this.
Right.
So earlier I used to read a sentence 2 or 3 times to understand the gist. But when it came
Right.
to the meaning based approach and the key points, wherever we have to stop, wherever we have to check for the keywords. So all
Right.
this, actually the meaning based approach will help you everywhere, whether it be RC or CR. It will help you all together. And that was one of the wonderful part, I should say.
Right. Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. Right. Moving to CR, Arvind, initially you mentioned that CR was a very big issue for you. So how did you cope up with that? How did you improve in CR? Did pre-thinking help? What were your strategies for CR?
uh, when I started GMAT, I was absolutely clueless about CR. I thought it is just
Right.
a passage. Just you have to see the options, check which one is matching with
With
the
the
thing which is
logic.
asked in the question. Yeah, with
Yeah.
the logic, and go ahead with that. Initially, for easy questions, it worked actually. So I was pretty happy
Right.
about it. But when the difficulty level started rising, uh, I started to get struggling with CR. So when I started
Right.
with e-GMAT approach is a different approach, which I've never seen anywhere, which is pre-thinking. Actually,
Right.
pre-thinking is a very powerful tool. It helps us in many ways. First, it is about understanding the passage. When you spend another 10, 20 seconds for pre-thinking, uh, initially I thought that, okay, why should I spend, actually,
Right.
per question I have only less than 2 minutes. Why
Two
should I
minutes.
spend additional time, 20, 30 seconds for pre-thinking? What additional
Right.
benefit it will give me? But I should say it is a very powerful tool. Basically, with the 20 seconds, you are getting the direction of the passage or the sentence which is given.
Hmm.
So it helps you, it helps you an easy skimming of answer choices. So
True.
basically you will create a framework. Okay, why will during pre-thinking, I used to think why, how this makes sense. So all these questions gave me more clue about the passage. What is the
Right.
exact meaning, what is the question, what exactly the question is asking you. So
Hmm.
this helped me in easy elimination of answer choices. So even
Right.
if I understood that even if I spend 20 seconds additionally, it is not going to harm. It is actually
Hmm.
giving me an advantage of easy elimination of answer choices. So
Right.
this was very helpful. Even though I struggled a bit with CR, even during LMP, with continuous support from Dhruv and e-GMAT team, I was able to come out of that also, and I'm happy about that.
Right. You explained pre-thinking so well. I mean, I could actually visualize whatever you were saying. So, well done
Yeah,
on that. This is going to help a lot of people who are listening to Arvind
thank
right now. Uh,
you.
right, Arvind, coming to RC, right? Coming from a
Yeah,
vernacular medium, I'm very sure that the reading speed is going to be slow, and you're always going to be playing the catching game. You know,
yes,
trying to read as soon as you can. Uh,
yeah.
how did you improve on reducing your speed, your reading speed?
Uh, in this RC aspect, actually, Scholaranium helped a lot. I think I did almost all of the RC questions available in Scholaranium. So going by difficulty level, I used to start from easy, comprehend the RC passage. Initially, I used to solve RC not in a timed environment, so that I can understand the meaning, not in a pressurized environment. So after this, I started going by timer. So slowly I started improving my reading speed, and also I remember there was a video from Harsh regarding the approach, RC passage reading approach. It was really helpful. I think I have given a mail to you also regarding that. It was very helpful, super
Yes.
helpful tool
You asked me to
regarding
thank
the
him.
keywords. Yeah, definitely. This was it was very it was a fantastic video, and it helped me a lot in changing my reading. What is the angle of reading? There are basically two types of reading that I used to do. First one is skimming the passage, trying to
Right.
get a vague idea of what is mentioned in the passage. Second one is based on the concepts given by Harsh. Actually, you have to stop at the keywords and think back how it is related, how two sentences are connected. All those logical aspect you have to bring in so that you can get a better understanding. So this was my practice.
Right.
So initially I started with normal non-timed environment. Then I came to timed environment, and I was able to improve the reading speed. It absolutely helped during my exam also.
Right. Wonderful. You just spoke about Scholaranium. Uh, what
Yeah.
role did Scholaranium and the difficulty level of Scholaranium questions on both quant and verbal, what role did the difficulty level play in preparing you for the official GMAT, which also is kind of difficult? Did you find any similarities in terms of the difficulty level?
Yes, absolutely. There are a lot of similarities. Initially, I was going with Scholaranium only. After enrolling e-GMAT, I was going at with Scholaranium only. Then after
Right.
that, because I almost all of the time I was in a position like I exhausted almost all part of my hard questions. There are no questions available, so I used to depend on GMAT Club also. So in
Right.
GMAT Club, when I sorted for difficult questions, I used to see the same pattern. I used to, especially I used to go for GMAT prep questions in GMAT Club.
Right.
That means official mock test questions. So
Right.
I used to find the similar pattern which I had solved in Scholaranium. So there was a
Right.
similarity between these questions, and this helped me a lot. Actually, preparing an error log with Scholaranium, revising it every week, it gave more clear cut understanding on the concepts as well as the mistakes I used to make.
Right.
So this was the Scholaranium questions are absolutely a reflection of, I should say, reflection of official GMAT questions, and it will help all the
Right.
candidates. That's what I want to say about Scholaranium.
Right. Right. And when we speak about quant, you scored a massive 250. Okay. Uh, so you when you came to us, you were at a 48. Of course, you are an engineer, and of course, quant comes a little more natural to you. But still, this quant is very different than what you study in your engineering. This is
Yeah.
GMAT is different, right? So what did you feel when you started going through the quant content that okay, this was missing in my approach, and now this is what I have, and this is how I can get to a Q50.
This I got a massive improvement from Q48 to Q50, and
Right.
thanks to e-GMAT, Dhruv, and LMP team. Without your help, it would not have been possible, because I was struggling with verbal, and maybe 75 to 80% of my time uh, I had to spend for verbal.
On
So with
verbal.
the minimum time and in between all these professional commitments, with the minimum time, I had to improve my quant score also. Here, LMP played a major role. LMP with Dhruv, as per your direction, I went with quizzes, practice quizzes in
Yeah.
all sections. So I was able to get a fair idea of my lack of conceptual understanding as well as my easy sections. So I
Right.
was a little bit worried about number properties and word problems, as you pointed out during the course. So
Yeah.
it easily helped me. Actually, basically, e-GMAT splits the quant course into five. So basically, it helps us understand where we lacks. Quant,
Yeah.
you may be strong in geometry, or you may be strong in permutations and combinations, but number
Right.
properties may be a little difficult for some person. So it
Yeah.
absolutely it helped me to find which is my weak point. Number properties and
Right.
word problems were my uh, difficult areas. So
Right.
I was able to give more importance, more prominence to that section. And during the last days of my exam, I practiced lot of questions in Scholaranium, and I started feeling
Mhm.
more confident. To be for my surprise, I faced some of the questions in Quant which was uh, very similar as a Scholaranium questions I solved during my last
Right.
days of prep. So this was very helpful. LMP played a major role in massive improvement in my Quant score.
Yeah. Yeah. And as I said, you were diligent also. You were not somebody, you were not an engineer who was overconfident about his quantitative skills. You knew that you had to work
Yeah,
and you tried
yeah,
your best. So
yeah,
that's the result that you have, right?
yeah.
Moving to the mocks. Initially, I think mocks were a little difficult for you. Slowly, you caught up with the target score that you wanted to achieve. Uh, what similarities did you find between the SigmaX mocks and the official GMAT? So, Arvind, moving to the mock stage now, uh, what role did the Sigma X mocks play in preparing you for the real GMAT exam? And when you took the real GMAT exam, what similarities did you find? Were you like, oh, this is absolutely different? I never practiced something like this, or you were like, okay, this is something similar to what I've done.
Sigma X mocks were very good. This actually depicted a real picture of where I stand. I still believe before giving my second attempt, that was my 620. Even before enrolling e-GMAT, I used to take mock tests using some other platforms, and I used to get a score of near 690, 700 consistently. So just 1 week before the exam, there was a free mock test available in SigmaX. So I
Right,
took that mock test, and I believe I scored a 630 or 640. That
right,
was a shock, absolutely a shocker for me, because I was getting a score of 700. Why 640? This is not a correct picture. This is a
right.
false score. I believed, and I went for the exam, and I scored even
A
lesser than that,
630.
620. Yeah,
Yeah,
this was this was an instance which made me think about enrolling in e-GMAT, as it gave
yeah,
a fair score. It was even the verbal and quant score was also the similar, which I got
yeah.
exam. Then I enrolled e-GMAT, and in my Sigma mocks also I was able to see the true pattern of my scores.
Yeah,
Before giving my attempt in July, that I scored a 670. I
right,
used to get a score consistently near to 670, 680 only in Sigma X mocks. So this gives a real picture of where you stand. So
right,
absolutely, they were very helpful in assessing ourselves. So,
right.
but by the end, when I enrolled LMP, I was all my Sigma mocks were exhausted, so I
Yeah,
could not practice it after that. And I requested to, I think, Abha, whether I can get more mocks, because they were extremely super helpful. But
yeah,
because it was not available, I had to rely on GMAT Club mocks. They were also helpful. Yeah.
right, right. So finally, when you saw the 700 pop on the screen, how did it feel?
I was very happy. I did not expect that. Uh, the quant section was good. I was expecting a Q14 at least, but the verbal timing was a slight issue by the end of the exam. But I did not expect a 700. I was expecting somewhere near 680 to be.
Okay,
I was not a very optimistic person. I
right,
am always grounded. I was ready to embrace whatever. Okay, 670. Okay, let it go. I was in such a mood. But when 700 popped out, I was very happy. I was so content. This
right.
actually I struggled a lot during the last days of my exam. I was even in a stage. I was even thinking that whether I can take the exam, because that much
I
pressure
know.
was there from the workplace. So
Yeah,
finally, it is actually a happy ending. Yeah.
I'm glad it is. I'm glad it is. Let's speak about your work prep balance, because it was a big challenge, Aravind, because I myself used to get frustrated sometimes with this, because I would be like, this guy is so intelligent, he's so diligent. If he just puts in 2 months of effort, diligent effort, he'll score whatever he wants. But your work did not allow you to do that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
How did you maintain your
Yeah.
work balance? Just take us through that phase where you would, find a way out to study, then work, and then, how did you do all of that?
Um, I'll start with I'll start from April 2023 when I joined e-GMAT.
Sure.
My plan was to spend at least 2 to 3 hours per day. My work time is actually from morning 8:15 to evening 5, but
Okay.
it goes beyond 5. Basically, I am in project planning. So when a project, it was in April, so there was a project coming in June, July month of
Right.
2023. So I had to start planning from April itself, or even before that. So
Mm.
even if the project is not under execution, I am supposed to do that planning
The
job, which is
planning
very
work.
challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it is very challenging, and very high stakes are involved in that. Very costly projects and lot of responsibilities. So I had to spend my after hours in office itself. I used to get home by 9, 10 most of the days,
Oh,
and it was very difficult for me to keep up at night. Basically, I'm a night person. I can
okay.
maybe I can study till 1 o'clock also. It is not an issue, but morning was an issue for me. Slightly, I started changing that. Getting home at 9, 10, and after studying for 2 hours after that, it was impossible for me. So I used to get up early, at least spend 1 hour for revising topics, studying new things with e-GMAT. Then by July, I gave an exam again. 670 I scored. After that, I enrolled LMP, and I could not start the LMP program for next 2.5 months because of an execution project job was going on, which I was planning in April. This execution was going on for 2.5 months. Uh, that execution in execution phase, I used to spend at least 12 to 14 hours in office. That too
Right.
physically very demanding. You have to climb there. Being a refinery, you have
Yeah.
to go there, visual inspect. All those aspects are there. Physically very demanding. You are absolutely tired once you get home, and this was a big threat, big hindrance in my preparation.
Yeah.
Then once the project was over in October, I was able to spend at least some 2 hours, 2.5 hours per day. Then by the end, I told my boss that I had to reveal that I am preparing for exams. I need some more time. He was also
Oh,
really helpful at that part. He
nice.
was okay. He was letting me go. Okay, you spent some additional time. He was very serious. He was also very serious about my preparation. So this also helped me a lot. I thank to my boss also. By the end of the LMP course, actually I plan to take exam in Jan 15. By start of Jan also, again this pressure started coming, and I was absolutely helpless. I used to spend again 12 to 14 hours in office, but finally
Yeah.
I was able to meet the two ends, and very happy at seeing 700, which I believe I deserve. That is why, yeah.
No, you always deserved, and I know you are a very grounded
Yeah,
person, very humble. You don't really take yourself so seriously, but you thoroughly deserved it. Right.
yeah.
Uh,
Thank you.
this was an amazing conversation with you, Arvind. You explained the details of so many things so simply. You simplified things. I'm very sure people listening to you now have surely understood the things that you did and how did you reach where you did despite all the hindrances. With this, I would like to end the interview. Arvind, thank you so much for doing this. You have no idea that you've helped so many people right now. And if your conversation can help even one person succeed, I think that would be worth it, right?
Yeah, definitely. I would like to thank e-GMAT, especially Dhruv. Dhruv has been a constant support in my journey. He used to understand my position also, my struggles also. He used to help me. And I thank to the whole e-GMAT team. Please convey my gratitude to all of them. Abha and I think Akash also came in between when you were not
Yes.
there. They also really helped me. They were, they gave me, your team gave me very good guidance in every aspect, be it quant, be it verbal, or be it mental, how to prepare for the exam, how to prepare mentally for the exam. All those aspects were very helpful, and I thank you. Thank you a lot, and also for all the e-GMAT people who are enrolled with the e-GMAT, all the candidates. I wish very best of luck.
Thank you so much for all the kind words, Aravind. It was a pleasure to have been by you on this journey, and I'm just happy that this ended the way it did. And now you can go ahead, focus only on your work, and I hope that you do well on your MBA admissions. And do keep us posted. We would love to know where you get an admission and how you're doing on your MBA journey also. So wish you all the luck, Arvind. Thank you so much, and goodbye.
Thank you so much, Rup. Goodbye. Thank you.